Started my personal channel a couple of years ago, and I really wanted to focus on providing some solutions for women who are experiencing hair loss. My hair loss story is out on my personal channel, and I've suffered from hair loss from a very young age. I've tried every potion and pill and topical and standing on my head for 30 minutes while spinning plates in the air with my feet. I would literally try anything to stop the shedding. I had been to many doctors, and I was actually diagnosed with chronic telogen effluvium, which just means that most of my hair will go into the resting phase all at one time. They really don't know the cause for that. It could be a hormonal fluctuation. It could be an autoimmune response. There's a lot of different reasons why. But I really feel like it was a blessing in my life that I was able to create a channel that can help others. And I really feel very strongly about how wigs can boost your confidence and help you live your best life, especially for ladies with hair loss, baby chemotherapy. Hair means so much, especially to women, but not only women, also to men. And it's just very important that I get that information out there so they can make informed choices and learn and be inspired to do that. So today I'm in front of you because a couple of different things. We're into a new year now, 2018. I'll be 50 years old this year. And honest to goodness, I feel better than I ever have in my whole entire life. I am literally going to make the last half of my life the best half of my life. No offense to my family and my children, and those were the joys of my life and will always be. But at this stage of life, when my children are grown, I'm going to refocus on myself. And by doing that, I'm going to help others. And it feels really good. So I do a lot of deep thinking, and I motivate myself, and I'm very self-aware. And so I live by some principles that I call the pillars of wellness. Now that's my own made-up term, because I honestly believe in order to live your very best life, you have to take care of yourself in many different areas, not just fitness, not just nutrition, but also your mind, body, spirit, your finances. There's a lot of different what I call pillars of wellness, and we have to work on the areas that we identify as some of our weaknesses. Because if you can elevate yourself in these areas, you're going to be happy. You're going to experience a happiness that you've never ever experienced before in your life. And it's just going to make you feel like a very whole person. And when you feel happy and you feel like a whole person, you can go out into this world and affect people in a positive way. So that's really my philosophy. So I am going to begin this channel with something very near and dear to me, and that is my hair. That sounds pretty vain, right? Well, the thing is, I never had much of it. My hair would literally grow maybe 3 inches, and that would be it. It was thin, it was fine, it was super curly and frizzy. I had patchy baldness. I wouldn't say baldness, but just general thinness in certain areas. And then because of the curliness, I had these colics, so it would show little bald spots. It really affected my life. And because I wanted to go out there and be my best self, I didn't take that lying down. I really wanted to go out and not have my hair be a source of shame. I really wanted to show the world who I was on the inside. And for some reason, it's just very common that if you have hair issues or if you have any kind of imperfection, we're such a materialistic vain society that people just can't get past that sometimes. And so I've learned a couple of things. I started wearing wigs several years ago, and it changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. Now again, that might sound vain, but what it allowed me to do was to be myself and bring my best self. And I want that for each and every one of you. I feel like maybe I'm off task here, but I ignored my bio hair, and bio hair just means your natural hair, the hair that you wear, that God gave you, let's put it that way. I ignored it for many years because I wouldn't leave the house to go to the mailbox without a wig on. So I had to start over in the way I thought about hair and in the way I thought about myself. So several years into this, I started to see some really cute pixie cuts on ladies, ladies that wore wigs and enjoyed them. And I thought, why not? Why can't I do this too? And I just felt like I really wanted to do something. I was just inspired. You know how inspiration could just hit you like a bolt of lightning sometimes, like, I'm doing this. So I've ignored my bio hair, and honestly, it has been over 5 years since I have felt like my bio hair is presentable to the outside world. My family knows what my bio hair looks like, but I really kind of let it go. I mean, I kept it at a really reasonable length because it just makes sense when you're wearing wigs to keep it very practical. But more than that, it just was very neglected. I had lots of grays. It was frizzy and fine, and you could see through certain places on my scalp. So at home, I would just wear like a soft turban or a headband or something like that in the evenings when I'm sitting with my family or on the weekends. But trust me, I didn't go anywhere without a wig for a very long time. So I'm happy to say that I really looked in the mirror and I decided to do something with my bio hair. I had nothing to lose. So I just want to say also that I feel blessed that I have some bio hair. If you have a condition that would make you completely without hair, that comes with its own set of concerns. And my heart goes out to those ladies, and I'm just so glad that there's wigs because you can go out and be your true self. So with my bio hair, I decided to cut it and color it and be done with it. To revamp my old bio hair. It's never looked so good, by the way. I'm at a time in life where my hormones are up and down and everywhere. And so I'm really surprised that my hair looks as good as it does. So what I'm here to do is just give you a quick tutorial on if you suffer from hair loss, if you have thin, scraggly, gray, frizzy, lifeless hair, that if you decide to cut it and you decide to move forward in trying to make it look good, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. What I think my biggest surprise was in this process was that by cutting it really, really short, it looked thicker. And by coloring it really, really light, because I'm naturally like a medium brunette, by going really, really light, it really camouflaged those thinning areas because the color just kind of blends in with the scalp. So a lot of things happened that I just thought was really amazing, and I once again have some presentable bio hair. Will I stop wearing wigs? No, I won't, because I've enjoyed it so much. It's really become a part of who I am. It's a hobby, and I enjoy talking about wigs, and the only way to be an expert in something is if you do it, and you have lots of practice and experience. So no, I'm not going to give up my wigs. But I am pleased that my bio hair turned out as well as it did. So let's go on then and talk about how I achieved this look. I'm actually going to get up close here so you can see. No, I did it all on my own. Can I just preface this by saying there's many of you out there that are hairdressers, hairstylists, and you're probably going to cringe at everything I have to say right now. And I would beg you just to be tolerant of this because I'm not an expert in this field. But I know that there are thousands and thousands of ladies out there like myself that are more ashamed of their bio hair, or we just may not live in an area that there's a lot of resources for us to rely on. So, and there's some expense involved with that too. I know with wigs, there's very few stylists that will actually touch a wig, to trim it, to thin it, to do anything. And so we've had to develop some skills on our own to make wigs and our bio hair into something that we feel comfortable with, that makes us feel good and confident. So be patient. The other thing that I want to say is that when I'm going to explain some of these products that I used on my hair and some of these appliances, I just want you to be aware of the safety issues. If you're using scissors, if you're using clippers, if you're using any sort of heat appliance, it just goes without saying to be very cautious and careful while using those things. And then when you're sort of mixing your colors or solutions or whatever you decide to do that way as well, make sure you read the instructions thoroughly. If you're not confident, please consult a stylist or somebody that knows. I know that the girls at Sally Beauty Supply, they were so helpful to me. And then also my friend Lori Beth 428, she has a YouTube channel. She helped me through the process as well. So let's talk about that. So what I did first was I began to trim my own hair. So what I did was I took, let's go ahead and get this a little closer. So you can see a little bit of I don't have a demonstration table here. But what I did was I took some of my wall clippers here. Okay, I added a 3/8 attachment, and if you notice on your most wall clippers, they'll give you, the attachments are actually color coded. I actually thought I used a 1/2 inch, but I actually used a 3/8 inch, and I think this was just the perfect guard for what I had tried to achieve. So what I did was I shaved up the back, clipped up the back, and really scooped in here at the nape and just sort of faded out a little bit as I moved up. And I didn't realize I had so much hair when I started this process. There was a lot of hair that fell. But same thing all the way around and around the ears, and I sort of did the same thing here. I started here and sort of faded out a little bit as you went up. And I did that all the way around. And then I took some scissors, and because my hair is curly, it's super forgiving. So if it's not exactly even, it doesn't make a difference, because my hair is full of cowlicks and just real, I don't want to say thick, that's not the right word, but just some intense cowlicky areas here. And it all bends, it all looks different lengths anyway. So if you have straight hair, you might want to be a little more careful and consult a stylist. But then I just went about sort of trimming all the way around. Okay, and then making sure that the sides and the back blended well. So that takes care of the sides and the back, and then the top. Then I just took my razor, and I, with a mirror, went up all around and sort of razored off any sort of little straggly hairs or anything, just to give it a clean look in the back. So that's it. That's all I did to cut my hair. It didn't take much. My hair was super short anyway. So then I went about coloring. And like I said, I was probably, I would say at least a medium brunette. So I went to the drugstore, went to Walmart, and I ended up picking up, and I'm going to post some links below, the products that I used. You probably have your own that you might like to use when the time comes. But I selected a bleach at the drugstore. It was called Clairol Born Blonde Maxi Lift or Maxi Blonde. I forget what it was. So I set about bleaching my entire hair. And I followed the instructions, so I kind of broke it off in sections and went a little bit at a time. And I forget how long I actually left that on. I don't think I left it on long enough because I didn't achieve I was actually going for white platinum, and I don't think I lifted the color enough. I don't think I bleached it long enough, but I left it on about 30 minutes, I want to say, because I put it on, waited 10 minutes, looked, put on some more, and then I ended up sort of reapplying like 3 different times. And then sat and just watched, used a timer and sort of just kept an eye on it. I was kind of nervous because, you know, it just feels like when you try something new like that, oh my gosh, what if my hair falls out? Well, so what if it does? I have my wig, so I really, again, nothing to lose here. So when I washed off the bleach, what I had was a neon orange, yellow, canary yellow day glow look, and it was kind of fashionable. I mean, people pay good money to have some dramatic coloring like that, but it's really not what I was going for. Again, like I said, I was going for more of a platinum. So I reached out to my friend Lori Beth, and she recommended a couple of products, and I ran over to Sally Beauty Supply, picked them up. So this was a 2-step process to do the bleaching. So the next day I applied the step 2, which was the Wella color. I'm going to post the link below. It was a Wella product, and it was T18, so it was a toner, a pale ash blonde toner, and that's supposed to take out all the yellow and the brassiness from the color. And some 20 developer, and I'll post the products again below. But mixed the two together, and bought an application brush and a little bowl, mix it up, and I went about putting it all over. And because I didn't have like a plastic cap, I just used some plastic wrap, like saran wrap from the kitchen, to cover my head. And that just sort of holds in the heat a little bit, helps it develop a little more quickly. The lady said leave it on for 30 minutes, so I set my timer, and at about 20 minutes I looked in the mirror and my heart skipped a beat because it turned bright purple. This toner went on, it was clear, and after 20 minutes it was bright purple, like, oh my gosh, something went wrong, terribly wrong. So I washed it off real quick. And once I washed it off, it was a really pretty beige, light pale beige color that you see here. I kind of wish I had left it on a little longer now, but that purple really startled me. I don't think anybody warned me that this stuff is going to look bright purple on, and that's just the way it goes with the toner. So if you get into that process and you see this bright purple color, that's not going to be the final color. Although I like purple hair, I've got several wigs that are pink and purple. It's gorgeous. All right, so that kind of explains what I did, and that's how I achieved what I can achieve. Now I can tell you a couple more observations that were surprise benefits actually. So when I bleached my hair, it immediately felt thicker. It felt like it had more texture to it than it ever did before. And I had highlights and bleach and stuff put in my hair years ago. The hairdresser, God knows how much money I spent trying to camouflage everything. But you know, I didn't pay much attention. I was just sitting there dabbing with her, and it's been many, many years. And all the money, oh my gosh, all the money that I spent. So I never think it ever looked this good either. But so yeah, when I completed the process, there were a few side benefits, the texture. And from what I understand, it's really not increasing the health of your hair. It's sort of blowing up the cuticle and making it feel a little more swollen. Each hair seems a little thicker, and it has more rough texture to it. That's because I've broken the cuticle. I've damaged the hair. And I don't want that to scare you either, because it doesn't feel damaged. Yes, it does have a little more texture, but it doesn't feel fried. And of course, if you do multiple applications of bleach and things like that, if you over bleach, you can certainly get more of a fried effect off of that. So be careful. I probably won't do this again until it completely grows out, which at this length, may take me, what, 6 months max, probably, to get it all grown out until I do it again. So, so that was a good side benefit. The other side benefit was that when I did my 360 and I was looking at the color and things, I couldn't see my bald patches. I couldn't see that extreme thinness in certain areas. And again, that's because I had some in here and definitely at the crown, and some very, very thin places in the back. But you couldn't see them. The pale blonde had completely camouflaged that. And so I was just thrilled. I just kept looking in the mirror all day after I did this, and it's like, is that my real hair? Because actually it reminds me of a wig style called Tab by Ellen Villa. It's real short, spiky. But leave it to my sons to tell it like it is, right? My son says, Mom, I don't know about that. He said, kind of looks masculine. Well, it's just a drastic difference from the wigs that I've been wearing and my attempts to cover it all up and stuff like that. So you really have to take it short enough that you're going to realize some nice, healthier hair below. By taking off the ends and things like that, it's going to look healthier, it's going to appear thicker. And so this is about the length. This is about the maximum length I could go to achieve that effect on mine. Plus I have a receding hairline completely. I have no bangs. And so this style where it's kind of pushed up there at the front, I think it really works for somebody like me that has no bangs. I just think it's really edgy and kind of cute. I think it could really grow on me. And I live a busy lifestyle. I love to work out. I like to be on the go a lot. And so I feel like this hair could be just fine if I go to work out at the gym, and I don't. I usually work out at home, but I'm just using that as an example. If I need to run out to the grocery store, or down to the mailbox, I just feel like this would be presentable and something that I could not feel self-conscious about, if you will. So I'm really happy with the results. I would urge you and encourage you to explore maybe some of these options for yourself, especially you ladies that have worn wigs forever, and maybe you just want to see what your bio hair can do. I know that many of you out there still have periods of self-doubt and just some real sadness over your hair loss. So I got over that a very long time ago. I am not sad. I am not a victim of hair loss. I never ever thought I was a victim of hair loss. I felt like when I've said this before on my Instagram channel, I am a champion of solutions. If something goes wrong in my life, that there's something that I don't like, I'm thinking through it. I'm creating solutions to help myself. And I think that's what we all need to do, no matter if it's a hair loss issue, if there is, if you're overweight and you are struggling to lose weight. Maybe the solutions can be, hey, I've tried everything. I eat healthy, I exercise. This might be a glandular issue. This could be just heredity. Then buy clothes that you feel good in and just live your best life. So that's just a few examples. I know it's sort of disjointed here as I'm trying to develop something, just a new narrative that I want to talk with everybody about. And I felt like this would be a good way to parlay from my wigs, my hobby of wigs, into my passion for life. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. Inspiration strikes. I'm certainly looking forward to getting back in front of all of you. Take care. Live your best life.